What's going on, my Planko peeps, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a spotlight of another one of my parks that has been created recently. This was actually started on the PlayStation 4, but I went ahead and finished it with the PlayStation 5. So technically this will be my first ever PlayStation 5 completed park. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump on into this. I really wanted a place for the cars to come in. I think by far this is my best parking lot that I've ever done on any of my parks. So you come up through here, show them your tickets, pay for your parking. And we'll come up through here. And I really went pretty big with this parking lot, as you can tell. And then over here, I made a special parking lot for the staff where they can come in and park their cars for the day. And then whenever the guests are going to leave, they just leave up out of here and just put a come back soon sign. But yeah, this parking lot is pretty massive, I must say. And then if we come over here, I also put an area over here for Uber and Lyft and taxi for the people that, you know, come out of the park at the end of the night and want to take a Lyft or a taxi back to their hotel. So let's get over here. Also, I came up with this idea from a park that was created by Michael from M&J Games. He had this idea where he kind of tunneled the path underground and had them come up right here next to the parking lot, and you put this cool little like subway entrance here. And I really liked that a lot, so I wanted to go ahead and do that in this park as well. So shout out to him for that. So over here we got some bathrooms. It's pretty nice. I like the way those turned out. There's a lot of stuff in this park that, you know, I learned from as I was going along. It's pretty much the same with every park that I do. I learned so much from it, and then the next park I do better, you know. So that's just how Planet Coaster works. The more you build, the better you get. I put a little bus stop over here too for people who come in on the buses. So that's pretty cool. Alright, coming back over here, so we'll be entered in right here, Dreamworld Park. It's the name of the park, obviously. I really wanted kind of like a grand entrance, and I really like the way that this turned out. We got fast lane over here, and then over on this side, you can come over here and get tickets and season passes. And another thing I did with this park as well is I added a lot of ambient speakers everywhere. There's some turnstiles. So I think with this park in general, this is the park where I really kind of took my buildings to the next level. I really just like sat down and took the time to really do all the different angles and trims and just add all different types of things. Yeah, I really like the way these buildings turned out. Yeah, and then over here I have a hotel. I called it Castro's Inn & Suites. It does what it needs to do. And there's actually a hotel thing in there, so the guests do go in and out. It was a flat ride, it's busy. So this park I split into 3 different themed areas. So straight ahead here we have the fantasy themed area, which that building is absolutely incredible. To the right here we have the western themed area, and then if we go over here to the left we have the spooky themed area. And I think we're going to go ahead and start to the left here. I'll show you guys the spooky themed area first. So So let's go ahead and get on over here. And the spooky themed area is designed to be looked at night. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it to night here. I wanted to go with these purple, blue, and orange tones of lighting. I think it looks pretty good. Some food, some more bathrooms. Then I added this little cemetery over here too. I think this turned out pretty cool. I got some arms coming out of the ground here. Added some fog. Looks pretty cool. And I really like the way that that flat ride looks as you're coming into the haunted themed area, to the spooky land. And the name that I went for with that ride is actually Mind Flayer, or it's called, yeah, Mind Flayer. And I got that from Stranger Things. If any of you have watched that show, you know what I'm talking about. It kind of just gives off that vibe of like the Mind Flayer. And I think it went perfect with this theme I was doing over here. So back up here, I just put it a little house here, haunted mansion. And then down here, I have a thing for the staff to go through if they want to come on down. It's just a little staff building here, a little bit of backstage going on. Pretty simple, like the way it turned out though. Another thing I did too in this park that I didn't do in any of my other parks before was I wanted to have a lot of elevation change. And so I really focused on doing that a lot in the park as well. And it turned out pretty good, I must say. I don't think we're going to ride the flat rides in this one. We're just going to stick to the coasters. So that goes down over there. Some vendings here. Vending machines. And that brings us down to our first attraction in the park, and that's going to be Gargoyles Watch. I just went with a simple name. I put a bunch of gargoyles all over and around it, so I just figured it matched. I really wanted to make a very immersive queue for this one, and I wanted to make it be something that you could really get like immersed into. So here we go. We'll jump in this queue. Yeah, I really like the way that this queue turned out. I spent a lot of time creating this queue. A little bit of an interior here. I have a handful of lights attached to a sequencer, so there's a lot of flashing and strobing going on in different areas. And this ride is probably the most popular one in the park, because seeing that the guests are all the way back here, that means that there's a lot of guests in queue for this. It kind of opens back up here. Yeah, I really like this queue. This is probably one of the best queues I've ever done, actually, as far as theming goes. I like the shaping that I did with the wooden beams. Everything just kind of flows, you know, flows really nicely together. Let's head on up here. And then it opens back up again. Yeah, this is awesome. That's gonna bring us to our first coaster here. This is called Gargoyle's Watch. Let's go ahead and jump on here. Alright, that was Gargoyle's Watch. I really like the way that coaster turned out. Thinking back on it now, I think I would have done the lighting just a little bit different, but I think it does what it needs to do. So we come out the exit here. Get some cool views of the coaster. And then I added this little photo booth thing here so you can go and check out your photos on the ride. I also like the building that I put the entire structure in. It looks realistic. It also does what it needs to. So as we exit through here, we'll be going through a little bit of a forest. Some more good views of Mind Flayer. And that's all for the spooky area. This was actually the first area in the park that I built. By the time I was done with it, I was so ready to move on to something else too. Because for the majority of the time that I was working on this, it was spent working on that queue for that coaster. That took a lot of time. Alright, let's go back down here. We'll switch it back to day. Another thing I did in this park is I made sure that all the staff were trained as high as they could be. Never done that before at any park. I think we'll do the western side next. I also put some lockers in here as well. And I put these ATMs in here so guests would actually walk inside of that area. Otherwise, they wouldn't go in there at all. Alright, so here we are. Let's go into the western area. This was the first time I ever tried to build with any of the western pieces. It's a flat right here, Nova. Change the lighting here a little bit. Kind of wanted to do like a strip of, you know, Western themed buildings. I like the way it turned out overall. Looking at it now, I see a lot of areas that I could improve on, that I would do differently. I like this building a lot though. And I did a little bit of backstage over here as well for the staff. I just put another staff building over here for them. Threw a couple bins back here. There's a staff building right there. Nothing too crazy. So in each themed land, I kind of just wanted to have like one flat ride and one coaster. Because, like I said, I started this on the PS4, and it was already almost at 100%, and that was only with the Spooky Land and the Main Street area done. So I was coming into it with the PlayStation 5, not knowing if I was going to be able to complete this area and the fantasy-themed area over there. So I didn't want to go too crazy with adding a bunch of rides. So I just kind of stuck with one flat ride and one coaster per area. I like this area right here. Just chill and look at the waterfall. I like the structure that I built there to hold up the path as well. And I'm still new to doing this whole spotlight thing, so I'm sure I'll get better as I go. But just bear with me. Some parts are a little bit weird or off. This is called Rev's Wild Railway, so don't know where I got the name from. It just kind of sounded good, so I just kind of went with it. And this queue seems pretty backed up too, so looks like these coasters are holding a lot of people in queue. I spent a pretty good amount of time on this coaster as well. We'll probably ride this one at day and night, because I also like the way that it rides at nighttime. And as you can see, as I said earlier, I wanted to have a lot of elevation with the paths, so I kind of wanted this entire queue to be going upwards in elevation the whole entire time. So we kind of just wrap around here up on top of the waterfall. You can kind of look over and get some pretty cool views. Just adding that train up there too really added for a cool effect. Just adds to the theming. I like the way that turned out. Just hop on up here. Didn't do anything too crazy for the station building, but it does what it needs to. Alright, let's hop on here. Alright, so that was Rev's Wild Railway. Really like the way that turned out. Spent a lot of time working on the terrain and foliage on that. And keep it at night for a minute here. I really did go pretty into some pretty good theming on the queues on all the coasters in this park. The park is pretty well lit at night as well, so we'll have an overall look at that before we end the video. Alright, let's go on over here to the fantasy themed area. And I think I'm actually going to switch it back to day. So this was the last area of the park that I built, and this is kind of where I took my buildings to the next level. As you can see, so I just put some shops, a little seating area, and a bathroom on each side here, so you can walk all the way through, and there's a bathroom in there. Same thing on that side. Another thing I created too were these nice little Marvin's ice cream, where guests can go in, sit down, eat ice cream. Then I also created this King's Pizza, pretty cool custom sign. I also have a little outdoor seating area for the guests here, and they actually use these tables surprisingly. Not a lot of the times when you make these little separate seating areas do the guests go down and actually use the tables. It's very rare that you see them over here. Alright, let's go on in here. Yeah, I really like the buildings that I made in this area. This is probably my favorite area in the park. A little restaurant there, I named it Xander's. I like how this coaster kind of just weaves in and out of all the pathing throughout this whole area over here. It's really cool to look at. Love this view right here. Watching the coaster just go by. Yeah, I love that view. Looks amazing. I think the coaster is going to come by here. Yeah, really cool place to just come, sit down and chill. Some more shops over here. I like the building style that I went with all the way through this whole area. All the different angles, different types of roofs, just all the different pieces mixed matched together. It just works really well. All of these buildings, they just come together nicely for the area. So it kind of just does one big loop right there. Yeah, I love it over here. This also took me a really long time to do. So we'll just go on down through here. A couple shops up here and another seating area, but like I said, the guests don't ever come up here, so it's pretty much empty up here all the time. And that brings us to the coaster of the area, and that is Draco. I'm not sure where I got the name for this either. I think I did. I looked into some names of some dragons and kind of just went with that. Got Draco there. It looks like there's a light peeking through right there. I'll have to go ahead and fix that whenever I'm done recording this. And we'll go ahead and enter this queue at night. Alright. I like this queue a lot too. Kind of just wraps around over through there, comes back through here. You can look out these little peepholes here and see some of the coaster going by. Yeah, really cool ambience in here. Nice little transfer track down there. Yeah, I like the way that this all turned out. Alright, let's go ahead and hop on here and take a ride. And that was Draco. I really like the way that that coaster turned out too, actually. At first I was kind of iffy about it, but after I kind of finished all the scenery around it and lighting and everything else, it just turned out really nice. Take a look at this transfer track real quick. I am trying to get better at adding transfer tracks to all my coasters to make it a little bit more realistic. Added a little bit of stuff in here, nothing too crazy. Let's go on out here. And there's another building here for your photos. I'm gonna try and do that more often too. Switch it back to day. Yeah, but pretty much anywhere you walk in this area, the coaster's just zooming by you. Really cool. That's another thing I'm going to be doing a lot more of in my future parks, is I'm going to be having a lot more interaction between coaster and guests walking around, whether that be in the queue, exit, or just the outside paths in general. It just makes for a really cool effect and makes it a lot more immersive too when the track's that close to you and you can just kind of watch it go by. Added this little waterfall here. Thought it would be pretty cool. It turned out pretty nice. And this just kind of wraps back up through here. A couple shops. And then across this bridge. Still some really cool views up here. Yeah, that looks amazing. Really like the color scheme of the coaster too. Over here, I couldn't get the path to quite work out for me the way I wanted to, so I kind of just made these custom little benches. They do what they need to do. Of course, there's not ever going to be any guests over here, but it's fine. It does what it needs to. So that kind of concludes the fantasy themed area here, which kind of also concludes the video. So we'll go ahead and pop out here and take an overall look at everything from a bird's eye view. Excuse me. So here's a bird's eye view of everything. Looks pretty cool, I must say. A lot of detail work put into this one. Yeah, that fantasy themed area, those buildings are just off the charts. I also put some backstage back here too, kind of for the employees to come out and you know, take their break or, you know, do whatever they need to do. But yeah, and then I like the way that this coaster looks as well. It really just interacts with the terrain so well. It took a lot of time to get the terrain to do what I wanted it to do with this one, but I like the result. Yeah, overall, I think this is a pretty good park. I've definitely learned a lot while building this park, and I'm excited to use some of the new strategies and things that I've learned in my future parks. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought about this park down in the comments below. And also, if you like this video, please leave a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I do appreciate all the support I can get here on the channel. Stay tuned because I'm thinking I'm going to do more spotlights, more tutorial videos, and such on. So just stick around, bear with me. There's more videos coming. That's going to do it for today. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.